So now this is the next lot of question. There's one from Sunil and there are some from Mr. Vijay Dayal. So these will now be based on an offline editor of the S6L, because that's the mixer I'm very comfortable with. Okay, so on to the first question is Sunil is asking about when I do front of house and monitors, how do I copy the channel and share that with us? So Sunil, if what you can do is like I will show you here. Let me get to my guitar. So this is my guitar FOH, which is as you can see, there are no augs going anywhere or anything. And if I close this, then you can see that there is a different EQ here, maybe a different high pass, and I have a couple of plugins on this. And then what I have done is if I go to the same thing here, just hold on for a sec, guitar monitors. So as you can see, this fader is down, that fader is up. So when I click on this one, there's a different high pass here, a different EQ. This is what's going back to the musician, to be heard in his ears. And there are no plugins or anything. The compression is set extremely high to +6, so it doesn't really compress unless and this kind of compression is just for safety. The same kind of compression is there for all including I think on KK. Actually I don't even have anything on. Sorry, for monitors, I have to show you for monitors. Yeah, so see, that's set to +8, and again there are no plugins or anything of that sort. And let me go back to the guitar. So this is my guitar monitors, and this one is now going back to the band. As you can see, it's going to KK, guitar, drums, keyboards, the front wedges which are there for safety, side fills, and I'm using a little bit of reverb going back to him in the ears. Let me show this to you on the patch bay, how it's patched. So basically, if I go here, I have as you can see, guitar front of house is patched to 13 and 14. And guitar monitors are also patched to 13 and 14. So they are just like a Y patch, like a soft Y patch. That's what's happened. So they're all double patched. My key channels when I'm doing FOH and monitors together are always double patched. As you can see, I name them on. So I have the guitar, which is a stereo guitar, monitors, acoustic guitar monitors, keyboards 2 monitors, and of course the main singer. So KK front of house is here, and KK monitors is here. And again, if I show you for KK front of house, let me get to KK front of house, which is here. As you can see, this is set to 123. The fader is up. And I'm using a couple of plugins on him, and these two auxes that you see here, this is reverb and delay, and not much of an EQ, as you can see. Then if I go back to, this is KK monitor, as you can see, the fader is down, the high pass is lower because he feels that his voice is maybe a little too thin, so that different EQ on him and no plugins at all. And these are now going to all the other musicians, so it's going to himself, of course. Don't go by this number. I think this was one of those days. So this is normally around 0. So this is guitar, drums, keyboards, the front wedges, and a little bit on the side fills. So this is how I'm doing the double patching and the front of house and monitors together from the same this thing. So now we need to come to Mr. Vijay Dayal's questions. So Vijay is asking, I need to understand the snapshot and scene memory section well, recall, isolate, and all that. Vijay, we can do this whenever things open up and we get our hands on on the console itself. I can run you through this. As far as snapshots go, what you can do is you can start off using snapshots just for patch bay changes. Maybe if you have, like, say, a backup mic for your singer, you can set that up, and then you can recall snapshots where, in the patch it changes from the main mic to the spare mic, but on the same channel. So I will show you a quick example of that. So in my snapshots, I have a KK main and a KK spare. So KK main, of course, with the in. So if I recall this, and if I go to my patch bay, then this is set to 27. As you can see, both are set to 27, and 28 is actually the spare mic that we normally keep for him. So if I go here and I recall this one, then now this is, as you can see, this is jumped to 28 and 28, and vice versa. When you get the main mic working again, you can sort of jump back. Now there is another option for this. What you can do is, instead of trying to scroll to the snapshots and trying to do something, what you can do is you can go to events and you can set up an event to recall this particular snapshot. So what I have done here is I have taken function switch 21. I unfortunately am not, because I don't have access to the console, so I can't really physically show you how to do it, but I can do a test and show you that how it sort of works. So I have the function switch 21 pressed, and I can say recall snapshot KK spare. So when I click on test and I go to my patch bay, it jumps to 28, as you can see. And then so if I go to KK main, which I've set to function switch 22, and I say test, now this will jump to back to 27, as you can see. So you can set up an event to do this. Events are really amazing. I also have a snapshot where I bring up my let me do this, where I bring up my I have a mute verb and a reverb, unmute this thing, and I also have this thing where my reverb faders, they come back up automatically. I can't sort of remember which one. Verb up, yeah, okay, this one. Function 9 pressed. So these are my reverb and delay channels which have come up exactly to where I want them to. Now there are lots of other things you can in events. You can set up mute talk. You can recall verb. Okay, this is the one which is there. I also have things where when the bass guitar guy is now going to sing the main this thing, I have things where if I bring his fader up, his pan comes to the center. Otherwise, he's panned to the right a little bit, and it comes in the center and it goes back down. I have KK's backup mic again set up on a different thing. Then I also have an event where if KK is singing softly and I have to bring his fader up, but I'm very scared of getting a little bit of feedback, maybe from the front wedges or from the center fills. So this sort of curves out the high mids in his EQ. So let me show this to you. If I hope I'm on the right show file. So let's see if this works. Yes, it does. So if I go over 0, then as you can see, around 2 kilohertz, I'm dropping, around 1.7, I'm dropping around 3. And when I bring the fader back down again, this sort of goes back to normal. So this is one, fantastic thing you can create in events, and it's just plain logic. So you can just sort of do anything that you want. The other one that I have is when the bassist, he sings a little bit of a solo in the middle. So as you can see, his pan is now set to 50% on this side, and when I bring him back over 0, as close to his thing, as you can see, his pan has gone to 0. So now he's singing solo and he's centered, and when he finishes the singing and goes back to chorus or backing vocals, when I bring the fader back down, it jumps back to 50. So these are a couple of things that I've done with events. And with my snapshots, I've created my reverb thing, and also my the patch bay thing. So these are a few things which you can start off with. Difference between the attention button and the select button on the S6L. On the S6L, the attention button attentions anything which is available for you on the display, and the select button selects anything which is available for you on the console. So that's how it's differentiated. You can actually unlink the attention and the select button. So you can have, say, an attentioned channel on the display and a selected channel on the console, and you can work with both those channels independently. So that is another great way of using the attention and the attention key and the select key. How to lock a particular channel on the fader next to the master fader. I'm not really sure about this. I'll have to ask you what you mean by this when we speak next. If you want to make any particular channel okay. So I get you. So those two master faders, the small throw faders that you see on top of the console, they are like the flex channel on the SE48. So all you have to do is select a particular channel and then double tap on the attention button, and it'll lock that channel to that fader all the time. So you can select attention anything else, but on that channel, that particular so say if it's your singer, you can select the singer channel on your mixer and then double tap the attention key on that fader, on that flex channel fader, and your singer will be there constantly on that and not be and even if you're changing banks or if you're selecting anything else, your singer will always be there on that fader for you to have instant access to it. Also demonstrate hooking up an iPad and using it. Bro, for sure, when this lockdown sort of eases off and I can get access to a console, I definitely want to do a couple of more episodes on this thing. So I will for sure hook up an iPad there and show you how easy it is. It's extremely simple. It's almost like a plug and play process. There's nothing to it, and now you can do your mixing on one of the iPads, and you can do your function keys on the other iPad. So it's fantastic, or on your phone or iPad. So it's amazing. Is there any way to preserve your layouts? Yeah, now with the new software that's come in, actually the layouts have now, let me show you, have become they become now 48. So, and this is across all the consoles, and whether it's the 24, the 32, or the 48, or the 16, it's a 48 layout. So you're not going to, if you create a layout, you're not going to lose anything in your layout. And how do you access the next slot? Is just by those nudge buttons, those bank nudge buttons, which are right there on the console. So you just nudge and it'll bank to the next layer, which is part of your layout anyway. So if you're doing a 32 and you're on a 24, when you bank, your last 8 channels will be on the next bank. So you are no longer going to lose your layouts for that. So it's nice. So this is the end of this episode, and I hope I've tried to answer all your questions as truthfully and sincerely as I could, and I hope you guys enjoy and learn a little bit. And do send feedback on how you liked it and everything, and I will hopefully see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.